campaigns, and on Thursday, the electorate in Kisoro will be going to the polls. My name is Mildred Tuhaise, and with me still here, I do have Rose Kabajani, who is the NRM candidate. I have the FDC candidate under the names of Juliet Musanase. I have the National Unity Platform candidate, Salem Sultana. I have the Uganda People's Congress candidate, Mebo Ingabire, as well as Grace Akifeza Ngabirano, who is an independent candidate here. And of course, unfortunately, we couldn't get the People's Progressive Party candidate, Aisha Chimpaye. My name is Mildred Toaisa, and we'll continue with this debate. Coming back from the break and looking at some of the conversations that you did state clearly. Sultana, I want to come to you especially on your agricultural conversation. Agriculture remains the biggest employer of our people in Uganda. Over 70% of Ugandans are in the agriculture sector. And of course, dearly at the heart in Kisoro, we'll talk about the Irish potatoes. When I go to the market, I ask, are they from Kisoro or from somewhere else? But value addition remains a cornerstone. I know that there is a value addition for industry for potatoes that I do not know how you will be able to emphasize more, but some of the other conditions that are required are just as simple as storage facilities. How are you going to advocate for the agricultural sector in Kisoro if given the chance?
Agriculture is still, Kisoro is known as an agricultural place, but we don't have enough support from the Ministry of Agriculture. Yet our farmers need modern ways of farming and better ways of farming. We need to add value to our products. Like I said, there was a promise of a factory of Irish, but it stopped somewhere. So I think I will advocate. I know I will advocate and ensure that our products are valued. Because people come all the way from Kampala, direct to these farmers, give them small money, and go back to Kampala, where it's even much expensive than the money they give to the farmers themselves. So I'll ensure that these farmers have an opportunity to showcase their products and also to add value by advocating for a factory, by lobbying for a factory, so that Kisoro too can produce and add value to its Irish.
What agricultural value chains are key to you as a leader who is aspiring to get to Parliament that you would want to concentrate on? Because Uganda is gifted by nature, very many value chains. Kisoro probably also has many. We could know it for Irish onions. But what value chains are dear to your heart, and how do you intend to ensure that those are marketed and they're paid attention to?
Mostly, Kisoro is known for producing mostly Irish potatoes, then beans and onions. These are what we produce most. So these are our crops that we mostly produce in Kisoro district. So I'll ensure that I lobby and speak to all to different offices so that they can bring attention to these products and add value to our products.
All right, thank you very much. To candidate Ngabire, I'd like you to speak to agriculture at the heart of Kisoro, because with food security, in most cases, there is a bit of peace and calm. But this remains a salient issue in Kisoro. What's your pledge to the people if they give you their vote?
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Concerning agriculture, most of the people of Kisoro, we depend on agriculture. And nowadays, agriculture is not doing all that well, because nowadays we are having a problem. We are having poor seedlings. Sometimes the government tries to bring in some seedlings. The rural people are not accessing that. It is only going to those who are known. It is Gamba Nogu.
Okay.
So, to me, during Obote's regime, agriculture was doing so well because we had cooperative societies which would help farmers and which has died. So I want to bring back, I would like, I can say, to bring back those cooperative societies because they were so crucial to farmers. Farmers would dig, in case they need seedlings, they would go to the cooperative societies. They would be provided with each and everything, but which is no longer happening nowadays. A farmer is suffering on his or her own. You find a farmer going to banks, acquiring loans for agriculture. They start paying interest at the time of planting. You pay interest up to the time of harvesting. Let's say you might even get bad luck and your harvest is poor. So what are you going to pay back to that bank? You're going to end up when your land is being taken by the banks. So to me as Mabel, I advocate for Farmers Bank in Kisoro district.
Candidate Mabel, are you aware of the agricultural credit facility under the Bank of Uganda that is in the different banking institutions, as well as you talked about the farmers losing their crops? Agricultural insurance. Have you invested yourself in that? And have you, even before you are elected as a member of parliament, managed to speak to your people about such?
Some even put their buildings. We normally pass by buildings, this property for bank. That is being taken up by banks.
But you're talking about poor farmers. I am wondering the context of a farmer who would take a building, and then you are talking about the lowly farmers who you need to federate together under cooperatives. I'm confused a little bit. Which kind of farmer are you referring to in that case?
Madam Moderator, we are here for change, not any other business, but we are just here for change. We are advocating for Kisoro to change.
And that's the change I'm speaking about, because agriculture is dear to all of us. And you talked about a very important aspect, cooperatives. And the cornerstone of cooperatives is about organization, is about coming together. How much of that have you done? It doesn't need you to be in parliament for you to advocate for that kind of organization.
I'm giving you a live example. During the ruling party of UPC, Uganda People's Congress, agriculture was doing well because of cooperative societies, which is no longer existing. Maybe we still have one in Bugisu, that is Bugisu Cooperative Society. We had one in Kigezi. They all died, I can say. So I'm advocating for agriculture, since all the people of Kisoro depend on agriculture. Right. Most of the people of Kisoro are depending on agriculture.
Thank you, Candidate Ingabire, for that. Let me get to Candidate Grace. In your preamble telling us why you were the best candidate, you talked about your vast experience working with the same constituency that you are seeking a vote from. I know that everyone else has too, but the women constituency becomes a very dear one to you. And when we talk about agriculture and food production, at the borderline of that value chain are women. How concerned are you about this? How concerned are you about value addition and the meager prices that are paid too, like Candidate Sultana did mention, to these farmers for their hard work?
Thank you. Yeah.
And maybe just before you continue, I am kindly requesting our audience to please keep silent, and I will request maybe the party whips or the party representatives to kindly rein in on our audience here as we get to listen in. We'll have time to be able to discuss. Let me get back to you.
Yeah, on issues of value addition to the crops we produce, I will advocate for a policy if time allows.
Kindly just draw the mic closer to you a little bit, yeah, so we can get you more. Thank you.
Such that we get stores probably in every village, so that women are able to get where to store their crops. Most times crops are produced, but they are sold at very cheap prices because they do not have storage facilities. I will advocate and sensitize people about the importance of keeping their crops until the prices rise higher, because most times they're sold cheaply, and the money got from their sweat is very little. So we will, together with the existing leaders, try to put our voices together to see what can be best done to have these crops harvested, kept, and sold at the time when the prices are better. On issues of value addition, I will also look into what policies can be put in place to put budgetary allocations that would help farmers get some facilitation, like the Bank of Uganda loans that are given to different banks to give cheap loans to farmers. I will sensitize our women, our farmers to try and go for those loans because they are user-friendly, and I will also look into the aspect of cross-border marketing of our products, because there's a lot of market out there that we haven't explored. We'll look into which other markets other than the usual that we have. Where can we open our doors to? Where can we look for what to be sold where? There will be also, I will also add on to the voice of the roads are very paramount in the connectivity. Connectivity.
And Candidate Grace, just at that, I'll hold you. You talk about cross-border connections, yes, and security is very key. And it's beautiful to talk about Kisoro bordering to the two countries, that is Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. But we also had a lot of issues with border closures with Rwanda, which was sorted later on. We have insecurity conversations in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I'm wondering how you're looking at looping into cross-border conversations with security in that context.
Yes, we've been having border issues, Kisoro being at the center of two countries. We will advocate that more security is added at the borders, and that more investigative approaches, being alert of what is happening around, and reporting every aspect that we come by, because it is important that we have proper security along the borders, and investigative approaches to address the issue of people just coming in and crossing and buying things cheaply. Yet if we closed our borders tightly, we would get a good revenue from say the crops that we sell out of country into the neighboring countries, because most of it is sneaked out and the lot comes in not really taxed properly, yet it would bring in income for the country. So we will have to, I will add my voice to the existing systems so that the borders are watched closely and the revenue does its work properly.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to ask the FDC candidate, are you fasting? Candidate Juliet, are you fasting? Or have you been fasting today?
Why?
It was just a question.
No.
You're not fasting. Definitely that means food is a basic. Even when you're fasting, it's by choice. The reason why I ask that, because it's at the heart. And in the home, when you talk about food, it is dear to the mother in the home. And I'm asking this question bordering on the fact that agriculture is rife in Kisoro, and you are going to Parliament where the agricultural budget, even the Maputo declarations, are not fulfilled by the government of Uganda in terms of just how much of percentage of the entire budget is supposed to be put to the agricultural sector. How will you put Kisoro at the center stage of that agricultural conversation, especially the transformation in value addition and the value for money for the farmers at the grassroots?
Yes, regardless of those budgeting issues, I think I'll mainly advocate for, because now our soils have been tampered with. Production is usually low. Our soils have been tampered with, mainly because of artificial fertilizers. I don't think we need to be funded on that, because there are so many natural fertilizers that we can use to bring back our soils to normal, because our soils now are being depleted because of the artificial fertilizers. So I think my first priority would be teaching farmers to learn to use natural fertilizers, because these artificial fertilizers have depleted our soils and production is going low by the day. So I think I'll need to advocate on this. And I'm appealing to everyone, every farmer, to at least try and desist from using artificial fertilizers most often, because they affect our soils. I'm not a scientist, but it can be practically be evident for all of us who are farmers. I am appealing to everyone to avoid using artificial fertilizers so much. Yes, they increase the yield for some time, but then our soils get depleted after some time and cannot produce anymore. So this is what I'll advocate for, so that we learn to use our natural fertilizers, because for them they don't affect the soils.
Candidate Juliet, are you looking that conversation into the global climate change discussion? Because we're currently having COP29 going on, and part of the productivity of the soils and the climate changes is what we can attribute to the less productivity that is coming through. Are you also looking at that global conversation? And as a legislator, I know that regional and international issues loop into your conversation.
No, regardless of that, I will still insist, regardless of the climate change and all that. And I'm thinking even that climate change is being brought about by these artificial things that tamper with our climate. That, of course, there is a lot scientifically. I'm not a scientist. I'll not go deep into that. But that is why I'm insisting that we use our natural fertilizers, because they are there. And we don't run, because, I mean, when these artificial fertilizers came in, everybody ran for them because we wanted to produce, like our Irishes, we produce like big ones. Then for the next season, you get nothing, because the artificial fertilizers have affected the soils. I don't want to attribute it to the climate change or anything to do with climate, because we still have that natural advantage. Like us, we have volcanic soils, by the way. Our soils are very volcanic and they are very productive. We are the ones depleting them. I wouldn't want to say intentionally, but out of ignorance, I should say. That is why us as leaders, we should learn to educate farmers on proper methods of farming and how to manage soils properly. And our leaders, by the way, don't mind about this, because, and something else I wanted to talk about, Mildred, before you divert me. I still had another point to make, on, especially on the diversification of production, because we have a problem here in Kisoro, where all of us, when it's a season for Irish, we all grow Irish, and then we produce it in large numbers, and I mean at a large scale, and we lose the market. So I want to appeal to the farmers. I will advocate for farmers to learn to diversify the production. We don't all have to go and plant Irish. We don't all have to go and plant onions. I mean, we have to, diversify and have different things being produced at the same time, so that we get market easily. Because when we all produce onions, at the end of the day, we'll lose market, and you know what? And the farmers will go, empty-handed, yet they have worked hard to produce that.
All right.
And again,
I'll give you 1 minute to conclude.
Yeah, there is a problem, of course, economic problem, where the seeds, it's very hard for some farmers to access seeds because they're expensive. Okay. Economically, there's a lot of poverty here in Kisoro. So I think the first thing we should do is to address this problem of poverty, because most farmers can't actually afford even buying seeds. When it's time for planting Irishes, you see a sack of Irish is about 500,000. A local farmer may not manage to buy that. So I think as leaders, I will advocate for agricultural loans, affordable agricultural loans, so that at least these farmers who are not able to have that money can be given a loan, at least those soft loans, to have them get the seeds they require to plant.
All right, thank you very much. I want to give a last chance on this conversation of agriculture, as important as it is, to someone who was previously a district agricultural officer. Where is the place of Kisoro when it comes to the agricultural conversation of the country? It seems a dire state, and how are you going to be able to deal with that?
Thank you, Madam Mildred, and our listeners, especially those listening on the voice of Muhabul, actually, our voters. On this, let me first of all take this opportunity to invite the country that tomorrow we are actually hosting the head of the state, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda. He's coming to Kisoro, so please don't miss this chance. Abantu bacu bariyo hose muri ejo nyakubaha president ari kuza hano muri Gisoro, muze murebe arabari kushaza kandi azabari nimuramba in Bufumbira South constituency. Aho ngaho ntanakwibagirwa no kubibutsa ngo nyabura mwe mutore bus bitera amajambe bitore NRM. That was for the people of Kisoro.
Yeah.
And for the country, of course, let me take this opportunity also, because I know this election, by the way, has been so hotly that it has attracted very many people. So I know those who
you
are
a national legislator when you go. Yeah. That is why the entire country has to be concerned. I'll take you back to agriculture. Thank you.
So on this, Madam Madrid, I'm an agriculturist by profession, by the way. I hold a master's in agriculture and a degree in agriculture and other related qualifications in agriculture. I worked in Kisoro. My last position was a district agriculture officer for Kisoro. So I know the issues that affect our people, especially when it comes to agriculture. I know very well there could have been many other issues. Kisoro being an agricultural district. For example, when I was working with NADS, I worked with NADS as well. NADS was a project that was really trying to reach out to the rural farmers and improve their livelihood through improved food production and income. And on this, the people of Kisoro know, like we are limited. We have some challenges that, of course, limit agricultural production. Is or people can produce food for their families. We are food secure. Maybe a little bit of a challenge when it comes to producing for income, because...
And that's what your party president is pushing for.
Yeah, our party president is so dear on the 4-acre model, but in Kisoro, very few people have even 1 acre, even half acre, even a quarter acre of land. But to those who have land, really, we implore them to adopt the president's model of 4-acre model, of where your family has food security and produce food for the family and have some food for income. Because as my colleagues have mentioned, Kisoro people, we have limited, for example, income generating projects. For example, we don't have like cash crops. We grow Irish potatoes, which are both food and cash crop. We don't have coffee. We don't grow bananas. And actually using agricultural practices that don't deplete your land.
Thank you, Candidate Ross. I will hold you at that, and I will get back to you at a later stage. You are still watching the Kisoro Woman Member of Parliament by-election debate right here, as the women here get to let us in on what their focus in the next few days before the 2026 election will be for the people of Kisoro. An interesting dynamic. We're coming live to you from Ichumbi Hotels, the place that you can be able to use to stay away from the hustle and bustle of the city, but also access the beautiful tourist attractions of this very place. We're live on Next Radio Arua. We're live on Muhabura FM. Thank you so much for hosting us right here. Muhabura FM is a member of the United Media, and we're also live on the Afro Mobile application, and that's on NBS Live and NBS Television. Moving on to a very important conversation, I would like to start with Candidate Sultana on the issue of refugees. Uganda has an open refugee policy, and we host more than 2 million refugees. Closer is the refugees coming from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the holding center Nyakabande doesn't seem to have as much capacity as is expected, but also there's been a lot of refugee and host community conflicts that have existed. As a woman member of parliament who seeks peace and stability for your people, how dear is this conversation to your heart?
When you talk of refugees, then that is where the government now has to play their role. Security. As you know now, we are a border district bordering Congo and Rwanda. But as we speak now, because of the war, the Congo border is closed for trading. Yet Kisoro used to benefit a lot from trading. But then we look at other districts that have borders. When you go to Alegu, it's open for trading. You go to Kasese is also open. Yet these are also bordering countries. That Alegu is bordering Sudan, and there's also war there. But then how has this security helped us? So that's why we come in and advocate and speak. And Kisoro, as it is, it needs a voice. Yeah. So what we can do as a member of parliament is always advocate and speak and be the voice for the people.
That actually speaks directly into the aspect of social services, because you mentioned a focus on education, a focus on health, and directly the refugees do share the same social amenities as us. There is the advocacy for Nyakabande becoming a health center for, and I would believe, whereas the security is being a very important point to pay attention to, you also have a role in advocacy to ensure that some of the social services for the people, in as much as we have an open door policy, are maintained. How will you do that amidst the busy schedule of activities in Parliament?
Like I said earlier, what we lack as Kisoro is a voice. It's rare to see a member of parliament in Kisoro raise up on the floor of parliament and speak about issues that are pressing us as Kisoro district. So what we lack mostly is a voice, and when we speak out, definitely they will hear about our issues. So what I will do is advocate and speak, because that is what we are meant to do. We are to lobby, we are to advocate, we are to speak, we are to be the voice. So that's what an MP should do, should advocate and lobby. And as you know, Kisoro has lacked such people. So we need to change, and they need to vote for Sultana Salim, who is known as Tana, to advocate for them and speak for them.
All right, thank you very much. Candidate Ngavire, let's speak about the issue of refugees. Whereas we have an open door policy that has been praised internationally, when two children are crying, yours and the neighbors, it's quite very unfortunate, but it's quite an often that you will pick up the neighbor's kid before you pick up your own. So on the issues of refugees and social services, especially given the pangs of COVID, where even the food rations and even the monies that are given to Uganda to host these refugees are coming down, how do you intend to play your role as a legislator and a leader of the area?
As Honorable Tana has said, we as the member of parliament, we are to speak. As I earlier said, me as a Congress lady, I'm very objective, and I have to speak the truth. I have to speak boldly. So we are to speak on behalf of the government. We are to be the voice of the people of Kisoro. So for the issue of refugees, we are to work in hand with the government to solve such a problem.
All right, thank you very much. Working hand in hand with the government. Candidate Chris, do you object in any way, or that is the same approach you want to take for the issue on refugees, which directly connects to social services because of the pressure on there?
Yes, Kisoro being what it is, it's not a very big place. We do not have enough amenities that would cater for the big influxes we get in Kisoro. I will advocate that organizations like World Food Program, that they repatriate the refugees as soon as they come, or they will also advocate that they are relocated in places that have bigger spaces, because Kisoro is really a tight place with few amenities that would cater for all the refugees that flow into Kisoro. So my voice will have to be strong on making sure that we put in place those guidelines that will help Kisoro offload on the road in time.
All right, thank you. Candidate Juliet, that speaks to matters of security and even social amenities. How are you hoping to raise your voice on the issue of exertion of pressure on such social amenities because of the influx of our neighbors from not too far?
Yes, thank you, Mildred. It's unfortunate that we border, of course, two countries, and one of it is insecure. So we keep getting influx of refugees, especially here in Kisoro. And when they come, security is always at stake. The crime rate increases. And so this is something the government should look into. That maybe I will say, I'm not sure of what the government policy actually is about these refugees, because these people come I think ours is a transit center. I think we don't have a camp per se. So these people come, and now they are left to loiter around town, causing a lot of crime.
We have an open door policy, and
yeah,
we
that
let
is it.
refugees
And I
mingle.
think we need to have them camped up in one place, because we get affected socially and economically. Because these people come, I don't know, maybe they don't give them the food, so they flock out of the transit camp. They come, start stealing people's property. They do a lot of crimes. So I think we need to have a policy to keep them, in one place, to have them in one place, to get some security for them, so that they don't just move anyhow.
Okay.
It's unfortunate, because when they come in here, they begin moving anyhow, going wherever they want, coming to homes to beg for food. I don't know whether we don't have a policy of providing food for these people. I don't know whether they have to survive on us they find here, because they keep coming begging. And this is quite questionable.
Okay.
Because, we need to have, when I go to Parliament, I think I will have to look into that.
Okay.
Why do these people come and they cannot get all the food they need? Because, they are insecure in their country, and we cannot chase them. We have to welcome them and take care of them. I think the responsible agencies should take note. I think when I go to Parliament, I will have to make sure I get all the responsible agencies taking the right note on this. Because they come and cause us a lot of problems.
But also good to note for you, for point of information, that the aid is reducing each and every day, and even the pledges that have been made to Uganda, some of them haven't been able to come through. So you have a neighbor who is coming not because they want to come, but that is what the situation is.
That is the challenge. And yet, we are also complaining. Our social services are not enough even for us Ugandans.
Okay.
And here we are with an influx of so many others coming in, and now we cannot, of course, they cannot access medical care, proper medical care, because even us, we don't access it.
Do you want Uganda to change their policy on refugees? Would you like for that?
No, because we cannot chase them. It's something that comes, and are not planned.
Okay.
And we have to welcome them. But we only need to put in a lot of effort to have them managed well.
Okay.
Because when they come in, we have to welcome them, manage them very well, and handle them accordingly, so that they don't cause a lot of crime.
Okay.
They don't cause a lot of insecurity to us, and maybe increase on the the medical supplies, because when they come, they need to access these things, because someone can fall sick any day, anyhow, and when these people fall sick, they come to the hospitals without also drugs. We are also, we don't have access to drugs as Ugandans, and here we are, we have other people coming in from different countries. So this is something you need to look at as a country, because it is, I think it is in disaster preparedness.
Yes,
I don't know, we have a Ministry of Disaster Preparedness that
under
needs to
the
look
office
into
of the
this.
Prime Minister.
I think
yes.
they also have a budget. So when there is an influx of such refugees, I think that ministry has to come in and provide accordingly, because they have a budget.
Thank you very much. And also to remind you that the different disasters never tell when to come, and sometimes they could come
that's why
at
we
the
have
same
that
time.
ministry.
Honorable Rose, I'll give you a few minutes to speak about issues of immigration and refugees, because I know security has also been the heartbeat of the ruling party, which you also do represent, because we have a few minutes to go on NBS before we do a little bit of an extension on Afro Mobile Live. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mildred. On the issues of refugees, Kisoro district being small as it is, of course we constrained by available resources that we have for our people as well. We have been so constrained in a way that whenever there are those influx of refugees, like my colleagues have said, we get so hit. Of course, when there was in Congo, Rwanda, they affect Kisoro mainly. And I'm happy about the open border policy, because Uganda, I think it's second to Canada, one of the most hospitable countries all over the world. I think which is somehow good, but also somehow bad to our people. For me, when I was in Parliament, Actually, I tried to lobby for a project. There's a project called Dr. Deep, which has never been here, but it has been to other border districts like Arua, those other districts, Koboko, and many other places. These projects do not only support the refugees, but also empower the host communities to improve on their livelihoods and also the social services, as you've mentioned.
So you want Dr. Deep to Kisoro as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one must come. Actually, when I become a member of parliament, I think that would also be one of my projects in 100 days, because the people of Kisoro have offered too much to the refugees, but we have not gotten really much. And on this, like I've said, Nyakabanda is considered a transit center, but trust me, we have refugees from January to January, so there is no difference between the host, the refugee settlement, and the host and a transit center. So our people of Kisoro really deserve the best, and on this, I also thank our NRM party, my party, that has really endeavored, because when these projects, these problems occur, like we know these main issues come from Congo. The president has been even trying, government of Uganda has been sponsoring the construction of security roads in Congo, possibly which will improve on security both in Uganda and Congo, and also improve the border securities.
Thank you.
So that is my take on that.
Thank you very much. Our time is really fast spent, and I'd like to give a chance to the candidates as we continue with the conversation for this particular section. Do you have a question for any of your colleagues? And I will give a chance to each and every one of us. Candidate Ngabire, do you have a question for any of these colleague members? Mention who it is and fire your question.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. My question goes to Honorable Rosie. Honorable Rosie, it has been 40 years. NRM in Kisoro. Now, which any other lie do you have for the people of Kisoro?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Candidate Ngabire. You're asking for lies. You don't want truths. It's okay. We'll go to Candidate Juliet. Do you have a question, and to who, and which question is it?
No, yes, I do. I do have a question.
I kindly request the audience to remain a little bit calm as we go on with this. Yes, Candidate Juliet.
I have a question or two for those two ladies in yellow. I'm seeing two ladies in yellow.
Yes. Candidate Grace and Candidate Rose.
They are confusing the electorate per se.
I see two reds as well. I see a red beret and a red sash.
No, don't worry about this one.
Okay, you're concerned about the yellow. Okay.
They are actually confusing the electorate because they all call themselves NRM. Yet we know Honorable Rose is the flag bearer of NRM. She's the one who took the flag. I'm wondering about Honorable Akfeza Grace. She's also in yellow.
You're asking where she belongs.
And she keeps telling the electorate she's the NRM. And I am wondering.
You'll get time, Candidate
You'll
Grace.
answer me, Madam. I am wondering, because you're not going to deny us, because even the dress code can tell.
Okay.
You're actually more yellow than our flag bearer. You are more yellow than our flag bearer.
Okay.
So we are confused. We need some explanations here.
All right, thank you.
And I have another one.
That's to Grace and then to Honorable Rose.
Particularly to Grace. This one I will ask Grace. Although I had so many for Honorable Rose regarding the policies of government, because she has been there, and I am sure they are
I give you 1 more minute. I give you 1 more minute to express yourself.
For Honorable Rose?
Go ahead.
But this one is for Honorable Akfeza Grace. We are all. I hope it won't be taken personal, but me, I'm very concerned because we are all contesting to go and make laws in Parliament, right?
Right.
And Honorable Akfeza lost to Honorable Rose.
Yes.
In the primary elections. I believe NLM has laws, has a constitution.
Set your question.
So now I'm wondering, Honorable Akfeza, you failed to respect your constitution of your NLM party. How are you going to be able to make laws in parliament if you are voted into power, if you can't respect the constitution of your party?
All right.
If you couldn't respect the constitution of your party and you deviated and contested against your fellow member, because
thank you. Thank you, candidate Juliet, and I think the question is taken.
I want Akifeza to tell us how she's going to make laws, yet she has already broken.
Thank you. Thank you, candidate Juliet. Your point is well taken. Candidate Sultana, do you have any question to any of the members?
Honorable.
Excuse me to the audience, please. Let's listen.
You have talked about roads in DRC. How have these roads helped us as a district? And as you know, the district, our border with Congo has been closed for trading. So how have these roads helped us being in Congo and not developing our own roads here in Kisoro district?
All right, thank you, candidate Sultana. Candidate Grace, do you have any question to any of the candidates? Kindly just draw closer to the mic.
Yes, my question will go to Rose, asking her what did you do for the children in Kisoro regarding education?
That is while she was an MP.
While you served.
Thank you. Thank you, candidate Grace. And candidate Rose, do you have one or questions to any of the candidates? Because all the rest of them seem to be directed to you. Sorry, candidate Rose, do you have any? I know you were still writing quite a number of questions coming in. Do you have one for any of the candidates, a question?
I think mine also goes to her.
Candidate Grace.
Yes.
Okay.
In our time, the people of Kisoro know. I wish I could even express it properly in the formula so that those on the voice of Muhabura can listen in. Properly.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
When we...
It is an international show, but we want to localize it to the people because they will be voting.
It's fine, it's okay. When we started this campaign, we were 13 women. As the campaign was hot and hot, the president called us to State House. And as a party chairman, wanted to see what was the challenge, what were the issues, and what we could do as a chairman of the party. So in that meeting, 5 candidates were convinced to also step aside. But in the process of looking for a flag bearer. So in that, we remained 8. So when we came here, I mean, before the president, we actually made maybe, I don't know whether that one is allowed in
a commitment?
Like we did not pen down or we did not write an agreement. But the president, and as Mr. Nasa has said, we have a party constitution that actually holds us. We all agreed that when we get a flag bearer, we shall all come down to support the flag bearer. No one was allowed to come as independent.
Okay.
That one we did before the president. And I think even the president will say it tomorrow. And actually all these 7 ladies, the 6 ladies now, are all around campaigning for the flag bearer because that is what we agreed.
Let's move straight into the question now.
I'm also wondering, like my colleague has said, what is it that is making her really run as if there is no tomorrow? when there is a official party flag bearer,
thank you.
Also go on lying people that there was no flag bearer when elections were held, and actually by lying in a broad daylight, and the winner was declared.
Thank you. I think let's start with Honorable Akifeza. Akifeza, you have fewer questions, and then we will go to Honorable Rose. The other questions candidates didn't seem to have questions, but they asked Rose and Akifeza. Honorable Grace, I will start with you. Candidate Grace.
Thank you. I want to get my fellow candidates, both Juliet and Madam Kabajeni, that it is allowable for an independent to lean on to what they believe in. I believe in the NRM, I believe in their values, and I'm an independent leaning on them. I will not deny that NRM has done very many good things, and I will not deny that daylight, I declared that I was an NRM candidate. I was declared actually, and I will also not deny that my votes were stolen. But my votes having been stolen does not make me NRM. But I contested it and won it, but they stole my votes. I wrote that they revised and put the right candidate, the right person.
Did you seek, allow me ask, because we're talking about law and fast, did you seek party redress over your contestation?
Yes, I wrote to the NRM secretariat. They have never gotten back to me. Yet I put plain evidence that showed that there was vote rigging. But that does not explain that I'm putting yellow because I'm insisting being the candidate. It is allowable by law that you can be an independent and lean towards where you feel you're comfortable, believe in.
Honorable Candidate Juliet asked, if you can't respect a constitution of a party that you believe in and even choose to lean to, what difference will it make if you become a legislator? That was the question. Would you want to respond to that?
That one, yeah, that's why I was saying I want to educate them that you can be an independent leaning on what you believe in. So I am an independent, but agreeing with the values of NRM, agreeing. And by the way, in my rallies, if you mark my words, I mentioned the president of Uganda, not the party. Mark the difference. Whoever was around me may have mentioned whatever they mentioned, but my words were, I believe in the president of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Not the political party.
Not the political
but
party.
You're leaning towards the political
all
party.
The videos, you'll not catch me with
But
that.
You're leaning towards the political party and not the president of the republic.
The president of the republic and his values, his manifesto and all.
Maybe I will come back to you just at a later stage. I want to first give candidate Rose because we're going to be closing in about 3 minutes on NBS television, but we'll be continuing on the Afro Mobile on NBS Live. So just in case you miss us, because on NBS television we'll be going on with a second edition of part 1 and 2 of Dr. Know Nothing, because we have a person who pretended and whipped through the cracks to be a medical doctor, caused a number of deaths. But our investigative team went on with that, and we'll be going with that on NBS television. But we will stay live on Mahabura radio station, on Next Radio Arua, and we'll also stay live on NBS Live on the Afro mobile app. And November is a giveaway for you. But Candidate Rose, I come to you. Before I get back to you, Candidate Juliet, in case you need any more clarity, let me get back to Candidate Rose on some of the questions that did come through. Unfortunately, someone asked for lies, and I don't know how ready you are to tell us some lies, tongue in cheek.
Thank you, Madam Mildred. According to me, I speak on behalf of my party now. I think NRM has delivered to the people of Kisoro. There are a few things that could not be there, here and there, but we are on course. We are on course, and maybe I want to also make her aware. Maybe she has not moved to other parts of the world and see. But according to me, NRM has delivered. And it's just a question of time. For example, like now, we have a road, Atamaka Road, that connects from Kisoro. You connect from Kisoro border to Busia border, to Nimure border, to Kasese border, or over. That is an achievement. Electricity has really moved to all parts of this district. I trust me, Mildred, if you went to Gindi, we were in campaigning to Gindi. You try to go to Gindi and see. We have tried our best, but it's a question of time. So on Rise, Madam, I don't know whether your UPC can promise anything better than NRM. And on Utana's thing on the roads, these roads are not for Uganda, but they are to improve the security situation across the region.
She particularly asked how they've been important for Kisoro, because I think of the proximity to that.
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm sure she knows. Like when you come from maybe Bunagana border and you want to go to Congo, that's where the insecurity, that's the base of insecurity. So these roads will improve the border security. That's the purpose of those roads, by the way. They are called security roads. So in the future, when these roads are made, the construction couldn't go on because of the insecurity in Congo. But in the future, when these roads are made, I'm telling you, they are going to improve the security both at the border of the two countries. And trust me, Honorable Tana, we have a lot of interest in Congo. We get a lot of food and other trade benefits in Congo. So these roads are going to be very beneficial, not only to Uganda, but the entire East African region. And on this, for Madam Grace, she has asked, what have I done for the children? Really? As a member of parliament, there are specific roles of a member of parliament. Other things, actually, it's like you are going overboard. There are basic roles of a member of parliament. One of it is registration. You have to registrate, you have to be in the parliament to register for the entire country. Not only the Kisoro. When you are a member of parliament, you are a member of parliament for the entire country, and actually now even we belong to the East African community, so you are for the entire East Africa. So the basic roles of a member of parliament are very clear, very sorted. Registration, appropriation, oversight, presentation. You present your people. And those, to me, those are so dear and very well spread to the extent that all people know the roles of a member of parliament.
I remember while you were introducing yourself, you boasted of your experience, and I want to believe that's the point where candidate Grace was coming from. But I would like, ladies, for us to hold it just a little bit. We need to say bye to the audience on NBS, unfortunately, but we have 30 more minutes to go on NBS Live, and that is on the Afro Mobile platform. Ichumbi has been very great to us, and of course for you who are looking towards visiting Kisoro, the beauty, Ichumbi Hotels and Lodging, that is along Mutolere Road. That's where you'll be able to find Ichumbi Hotel right here in the heart of Kisoro. But there is also Ichumbi Gorilla Lodge, that is just a 5-meter walk to the Rushaga Gate. That is in Bwindi. Very comfortable accommodation. You're talking about some stunning views and warm hospitality. And to Muhabura radio station that has been also relaying this live and still doing so, we want to say a special thank you to you, and allow us to say bye to the audience on NBS TV. But we will continue with this on Afro Mobile on NBS Live. I am Mildred Tohai. Say bye to our NBS audience, but I know that you are keeping on with a Dr. Know Nothing as we get to repeat due to public demand part 1 and part 2 as well. But to the ladies here,
my name is Henry Mugenyi. I am a house reporter at